All right, what's up? It's been a while, but we are back at this, working through the hundreds and possibly thousands of kanji that are required to feel like at all you can read Japanese. I'm hoping to open up the channel for all sorts of Japanese practice as a way to kind of motivate me and to hopefully teach some people some stuff too. But for now, we're just going to stick with this because it's very easy and it's kind of fun, and it is very, very helpful. Like, you really can't grind kanji too much. Eventually, your kanji will outpace your vocabulary and your grammar, which does make things a little awkward. But it's not like that won't come in handy. It's not like eventually it won't be a benefit to you. So we're doing the fourth group of the N4 level kanji. This one is answer, I'm pretty sure. I often think of it as test, but I don't see test here. So, oh, it's try. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's a bad start. That's a very bad start. We've zoomed in to kind of make it more legible, but hopefully you can still kind of read this. Okay. All right. Well, that's one down. That's one wrong, but hopefully we'll all right, this is dark. So even though there's two suns, you can kind of think of this radical, which we know means like to stand up or to be upright or whatever, as like kind of being over top of the suns. Maybe like it trumps the suns so that overall it's still actually dark, gloomy, something like that. Kurai. It sounds like the word for black, so it's kind of nice. There's a lot of sort of such homophones or close to homophones where the meaning is quite close to each other too, so you don't really get that far off if you mishear. This is a nice one, very, very simple. We have three trees, so that of course is a forest. Mori. You see this in a lot of names as well. This is black. The bottom is a radical for fire, and the top you can think of as like grasses, kind of. Or there's something similar that sort of looks like grass. Or just basically anything that's on fire will be blackened. So this is kuru, or kuro. You can see like true black here, makukoro, it's pitch black. Nice. This is work or industry. You can see at the top, this is like kind of a row, something that's lined up in a row, has usually these radicals. In the bottom, this kind of reminds me of like sheep. I don't really know. It's almost kind of a radical in and of itself, this entire kanji, so you kind of just learn to know it. But yeah, you can see it shows up in all sorts of things relating to work. This is open. So the gate, you'll see both around open and closed. In the middle is like sharpen, I associate it with, or like plow. I know it shows up in things like that, but mostly it's that this is the one that isn't closed, and closed has katakana O in it. So it's like you would think that maybe that means open, you know, kind of allowing English to poison your understanding of Japanese a little. But it's backwards. So it's a fun one where you just try to remember that it's backwards. So yes, this is open. Pretty self-explanatory. This is a weekday or day of the week. So this shows up in all the names of days. It's a pretty complicated kanji. On the left we have day. On the top we have radicals that remind me of like wing or feather or week or things like that. And then the bottom, this, I believe this is like another expression of bird, but I think of it often in terms of gathering things up. So I don't really know how that adds up to a weekday. This is, again, one you just see so often that you recognize it without really needing to break it down. This one is give birth or produce. So this, of course, is life underneath. And then we see kind of life emerging from this roof. And then standing at the top, I don't really know how to break it down. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I just clicked the wrong one. I wasn't paying attention. Obviously, yes, it's give birth or produce. So we see this also in products and stuff. Like that it's produced in a certain area, the country of origin or whatever, you'll see this. This is miyage, like omiyage, the obligation souvenir. Saisen, life production. Yeah. Sure. Oh, man. This is a bad start. So this is to wear. The top part I associate a lot with like beauty, things that have that many kind of horizontal lines. And then underneath this eye here kind of refers to the self, so things you kind of put yourself on. It has a lot of radicals that I'm not, or a lot of usages that I'm not really sure why, like steadily, chiaku. Apparently is this, but I didn't know about that. Kimono, literally just a thing you wear. But of course is a very kind of formal wear thing. Sure, this is drug or medicine. You'll see this in a lot of signs in Japan to refer to a drugstore. It's like fun grass. This bottom part is like tenoshi, fun, and then the top part is a radical referring to plants or grasses or things like that. So fun grass, that's a drug or a medicine. Nice. This is bad, wrong, or evil. So this bottom part is heart. So when you see that, you'll know that it usually has something to do with emotions or behavior or human nature, things like that. This top part, I'm not really sure what it means. The double-crossed mouth or something. I don't really know how you want to think of it. But it's wari for bad. This is like the wa and wario and waluigi. Not that it's actually spelled like this, but that's like the pun there. So yeah, you hear this one a lot. Warakuchi, an abusive, an insult, bad mouth, literally bad mouth. This is Metropolis. So on the left, this is kind of like people or humans, someone, things of that nature. And on the right, I associate this with like large human activity. So it's like where lots of people are just bustling and stuff. That's your Metropolis. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. This is location or place. So on the left we have ground. On the right we have sun shining over top of. I think of this as just like the thing radical because it shows up in mono. So all of that together, you're just kind of referring to like a specific plot, a specific area. And you can see it's used in these sorts of radicals, a meeting place, pretty self-explanatory. This is one of them again where they just use two kanji that in my mind are practically synonymous, and then it refers to just what I thought both of them individually meant, and I'm confused and I'm baffled, but whatever. This is a drain. No, it's silver. Sorry, I misread what this half was. And also this half, and I got them all confused in my head, but this is silver. So on the left is metal, and then on the right, this kanji, or this kanji by itself means good. It also is an eat and stuff like that, which made me all confused for a second. But it's like a good metal. That's silver. So giniro, you'll probably hear gin, tokin, silver and gold, and a lot of characters ginro and kinro from Dr. Stone as an example. This is the gin of that, meaning silver. This is head, right? Yeah. Atama. On the left, this is like bean, and on the right is neck. So it's the bean on top of your neck, I guess. Sure. It's a good one to know. Zutso, a headache, head pain. Easy to read. Good to remember to say. This is hot. It's like a sun over top of some ground and a stroke going through that ground and even more sun. So you know the heat is just overwhelming everywhere. Atsui, atsui. Easy enough. This is drink. No, this is meal. Oh my gosh. This is meal. So on the left is to eat, and on the right, it's kind of like friend, sort of, and I kind of think of it as just like a bundling up, an individual instance of that thing. So this is meshi, like dungeon meshi, and also the han in Gohan. So you'll see this like the morning meal, the midday meal, the evening meal, yuhan, hiro meshi. Why you use han sometimes and meshi other times, all has to do with the etymology of the word and whether it's like in Chinese origin or Japanese origin, and let's not even worry about it. This is a building. So on the left, this is like to eat. On the right, this is like a public servant, this guy here, with a little roof over his head. So just any sort of building, those two things together, you kind of think of as like, this could be this or it could be this. It's the thing that's either of those, restaurant or workplace, I guess. So it's usually pronounced con. Things that end like this are just ryokan, a travel building. That's the kind of traditional inn. Toshokan, a library. I'm not sure why. Oh, this is writing. So yeah, it's like group writing building, a library. It makes sense. Eigakan, a movie theater. This is reflecting image building. Sure, it all makes sense to me. This is... Uh-oh, it's starting. The actual tricky ones. I'm thinking that this might be Chinese. Because I'm not really sure what other ones it could be. But on the left we have horse, and on the right we have something that I associate with like verification or knowing. And none of these really make sense with what I'm looking at here. So I think it's, nope, it's test. Oh, right, because we already, the thing that I thought meant test, they said meant, so the thing that I thought was test, which made me think it wasn't test. All right, whatever. I should have, this is answer. That we thought, that what I thought was test was answer, so we chose answer, and then it turned out to be something else. And then what I thought was, yeah, you know what's going on here. So this is answer. Okay. Underneath is like fit, and on the top, this kind of like bamboo thing I associated with kind of like something chosen for a reason, like a nodule, something chosen out of a selection. So the thing that's chosen that fits is your answer, I guess. Oh, this is embarrassing. This is teach, which is what I'm not doing right now if I keep screwing things up. I'm not really sure how to think of it. This kind of ground with like a stroke going through it, you can think of as kind of like a development, I guess, and underneath is a child. So you're developing the child by like kind of working the ground of the child in the same way that like hot has that same slash through it. The sun is working up through the earth, maybe, I don't know. And then on the right, I don't really know what's going on with that. But sure. This is to collect or gather. On the top was that bird, and this is why I associate it with collecting and gathering. And on the bottom is a tree, so you can think of a lot of birds flocking together in a tree. They've gathered there. How nice. This is to learn. Underneath is white, which we can think of as maybe like clarity, the light of revelation or something. On the top, I don't really know what to call this. I associate it with weakness because there's something that looks similar in the kanji for weak. So the weak have their minds clarified or something because they've learned. Sure, I don't know. This is to lend. So on the bottom is our shellfish, the eye on top of animal legs that we associate with money. So on the top, this is like a person, and this is like substitution, I think of this aspect as. So a person substituting money in for someone else is lending them money. Nice. This is face. So on the right you have shape. On this, or sorry, on the right you have neck again. And then just like in head. And then here, instead of head being the bean, these three lines here I always think of as shape. So it's kind of the shapes upon the neck, and that's your face. And cow. Nice. Your face's color is your complexion. Cow yuro. Might hear that. Got a pale complexion. This is strong. So it's like a bow, okay? And then private, and then bug. So a really reclusive bug that pulls something into its nest. An antlion or something like this, maybe, is the strong lion. I don't know. So this is in Benkyo, to study, and it's like a diligent study. It's a good one to know. You'll see it here and there. This is to carry or move. So this is like a vehicle, a car, if you recall, and this is our radical for kind of going down a path or guiding along. So yeah, I don't know. That one seems pretty easy to me. Good one to know. This is a question. So again, we see the gate around a mouth this time. So we can think of the opening of the mouth, the span of the mouth is the questions that it asks, I guess. Sure. This is Chinese. This one I know for sure is Chinese. That last one tripped me up because of the weird chain of mistakes I had made. But yes, this is Chinese. I don't know how to really think of it as Chinese. On the left is water again, so you can think of it, I guess, as overseas. And then here, right in the middle, we have middle. In the middle, we have middle, of course, the line going through the mouth, naka or whatever. So we can think of China as like the central country. It's the one that's kind of in the middle of Asia. So something like that. So this is the Kan and Kanji, which is, of course, what we're studying right now, Chinese characters. And you'll see it show up in signage sometimes. Unintelligible language or molester. These seem rude. This seems extremely rude to the Chinese. I didn't know that. Chikan, like the train molester. That sort of Chikan has this character in it. That seems so rude. Maybe there's something I'm misunderstanding. But right now that seems extremely rude to me. This is to work. I'm pretty sure, unless it's somehow to try. But yeah, so this is like a person, this is heavy, and this is strength. So a person moving something heavy is doing work. And it'll show up in all sorts of compounds and such. This is cold. I don't really know. This one is almost radical into it itself. This one I just know is cold. I know it kind of looks similar to winter. I'm not sure if we've looked at winter yet or not. They both have this little double dot down here, and so does exhaust, for something to have run out, exhausted itself, or to end also has this sort of thing. So, you know, just the coldness, inactivity, try to start forming these associations in your head. This is light or unimportant. So on the left we have vehicle, or you can kind of maybe think of it as day or something like that. This is the ground. This is the radical that I can never think of how to describe it. So the car is just driving on past everything. The car just doesn't care about what these radicals mean. So it just means easy breezy, beautiful. This is to move. So we saw this one before as work, when there was just a person to the left of it. So this is like what is being moved, I guess, by that person. So by itself, it just means move. Ugoku. You'll see this show up in all sorts of things. I didn't know this. Dobutsu, to mean animal. It's just a moving thing. Sure, if that's how you want to define an animal. This is short. So on the left is like an arrow, and on the right is beans, and I don't know why that means short. This is like one bean, I guess, so you can think of it as like there's not enough beans. We're short a few beans. But it literally actually means short. It doesn't mean insufficient. It means something that's low to the ground. All right. This is morning. I'm surprised we haven't done this one yet. In fact, I think I've referred to it as if we'd done it quite a few times. But yeah, this is a really good one to know. You'll see this one quite a lot. So on the left, of course, is a vehicle, and on the right, we're going to take this as moon. So when the moon is moving out of the way, that means it's morning. Sure. This is a parent. On the left, a whole lot is going on. This kind of standing up part, this part that looks like katakana ho. And on the right is to see. So you can kind of see this as something standing up over top of you and looking at you. That's your parent, I guess. Here, this looks maybe rude, that it shows up in unkindness or unfriendliness. But this first kanji is negation. This first kanji, if it shows up, you know that whatever follows, it's like the opposite of that. So that's nice. This is end or finish. These are the two dots I referred to earlier that showed up in cold as well. So you can think of this part as kind of like a thread that now is being clipped off, and this is kind of the last little bit that falls off or something maybe. But this is owari, as in like owari monogatari and owarimashita and all of those type of things. So you'll hear this one a lot. This is a topic or subject. This thing on the right is like a neck. I've referred to it before. This is like to run, and this is the sun. So kind of like running by you're like kind of running by a path of something, like a neck. I don't know. I don't really have a good one for this. This one has tripped me up in the past because I can't quite connect all these ideas, but whatever. This is a song, so we can think of these as mouths singing together under these rooftops. And then this I associate with like next or longing or something that's just kind of ahead. So they're kind of singing out into the world maybe. Uta. This will show up in a lot of compounds referring to different genres and such, as you see here. This is public chamber or hall. So it has like a fancy roof, and a big opening for everyone to come in, and then it stands upon ground, I guess. I don't know. There's a couple that look like this, and I often get them mixed up in my head. So when we see other ones that look like this, we'll try to really work out what the differences are. This is an idea or mind. So underneath we have heart. So again, that's talking about feelings, kind of the internal workings of the mind and the emotions. And then we have the sun kind of rising up over top of it. So that's like an idea has come to mind. It's like the light bulb going off over your head. Nice. Good, good. Some interesting compounds that it's found in. This is again the negation one, so it's like without thinking means that it's abrupt and unexpected. Makes sense. This is far. So again, we have this like path. It signifies often distances. Close also has the same radical in it. And then like ground, the opening, the wide open ground, I guess. It's far away. Sure. This is fun or music. Tanoshi. We saw this before with the grass on top being drugs. Ongaku, meaning music, uses tanoshi, just the fun sound is music. Isn't that great? So this one you hear all the time in anime, of course. This is a vegetable. On top we again have grass, and then we can see this as like a tree that this stuff is sort of falling off of. So this kind of covers the span of various types of vegetables. Sure. So this is like field vegetable, yasai. You'll hear that quite a lot to refer to like the vegetables you buy at the grocery store. And hakusai is the Chinese cabbage. Good to know. This is to explain. So on the left we have our speaking radical that we've seen many times before and we'll see many times again. On the right, this is Big Brother, the mouth on top of human legs, which again kind of seems like they're bullying Big Bro. So your big brother is explaining something to you. Maybe that is positive, I don't know. Nice, nice. This is also used in novel, novelist. A small explanation is a novel, I guess. I don't know. Gakusetsu is your theory. A study explanation, that makes sense. This is substance, quality, or matter. So on the bottom, we can think of as like money again, and on the top, it's kind of this bamboo-looking thing. I'm not really quite sure what to call it. But this refers to, yeah, like the quality of goods. Is it high quality or low quality? What is like the essence of it? What is the substance of it? Those sorts of things. Maybe a capitalist sort of approach to conflate those things, but whatever. Honshitsu, that's your true nature. You might hear that kind of referring when you're speculating about somebody's character. This is give birth or produce. This is the one I just clicked the wrong one. Yeah. This is, so this one is test, right? Yeah, yeah. We got confused on as well. And this one is try. That's the one. And then I got it mixed up. Because in my head, I thought this meant like a test, like an exam. But it turns out it means like to try out, that type of test. So I was confused there. And thus I wasn't able to figure out what kind of synonym they were using for this particular app. Because of course I use a different app on my phone that has slightly different words for almost all of them. Well, not almost all of them, for actually just like a small number of them, but whatever. Anyways, okay, so we only got a 93, which means we're just gonna try to run through it again to finish this off as a way to verify that we, oh, there we go. Have gained something from this, I guess. And also because it looks sad to not have just all hundreds. Easy. All right, good. So now we will be moving on to N3 kanji. That's quite exciting. There's, it's going to be a big ramp up in difficulty. I hope you're ready. And then beyond that are the dangerous world of N2, and then this is completely uncharted territory that I shudder to even consider. But we'll get there when we get there. All right, that's all for now.